Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing well and staying healthy and safe at this time. This is Radhika here again, and this video is going to be about how do you heal from the abandonment wound. So, this is the last video I have on this series of abandonment wound. Um, and the next month in the members section, I'm planning to talk about happiness, and joy because it's it's the end of the year, and already in the last month we have been through like some dark themes and healing, which is very like heavy and intense energy, which kind of went well with the Scorpio season because Scorpio is all about letting go and rebirth and redefining and like changing yourself, going through this continuous process of change. um, but now that we are moving into like more Sagittarius energy, which is fiery and loving and fun and bubbly, and extremely friendly, little bit fickle, very flirty. So I thought like let's like keep the theme a bit light for the next month. So if you're interested in sharing posts on happiness and looking at posts, commenting on them, etc., please do consider joining the members section. So yeah, that was that, and let's get started with this video now. So yeah, how do you heal the abandonment wound? So these are like some practical tips to do that. It's not something you can just like wake up one day and do it. It's going to be like a process that you have to keep working on to do it, but it's not impossible. It gets a lot better with time if you keep at it. So yeah, the first thing is like recognize where this wounding shows up in your life, because everyone's story is so different, everyone's experience of life is so different. It's colored by so many different factors. So it's important to recognize where exactly do you feel this wound. Do you feel it when like someone financially abandons you, or someone physically abandons you, or someone spiritually, emotionally abandons you? Where do you feel it more? Do you feel it like in a group situation more, or are you okay with groups but you've never been able to have a very intimate one-on-one relationship with a person? Does it show up there more? So it's really going to be very different for everyone, um, because because of our history and our conditioning and childhoods. So recognize that for yourself. And then the next thing is, once you recognize that, okay, like maybe I always feel this feeling of abandonment when I'm with women or when I'm with men or something like that. So what you have to do is you have to kind of go back to your childhood and recognize when was the first time that you felt something like this happening. And once you recognize those situations, you can take some proactive measures to kind of heal it. So the first group of strategies I'm going to discuss, they are more the feeling kind. Okay, so these are the strategies where you actually sit with your feeling of being abandoned. You sit with your feeling of the grief or the fear or the maybe embarrassment or whatever you felt when you were abandoned, or whatever you're feeling currently when the situation is getting replayed in your life. You have to sit with those uncomfortable feelings. And so those are the first two methods that I'm going to discuss. So the first one is pretty proactive. So this is like you actually plan to feel the feeling. And to do that, you kind of sit with a therapist, or you can sit with a friend if you don't want to go to a therapist, or you can also sit alone. You don't have to have anyone else, but sit where you will be uninterrupted for a while, because it's kind of like you're trying to bring back those feelings. You're trying to relive the abandonment wound that you have felt. So you need to have a nice place where you can feel safe, where you won't be disturbed, where you have some time, so you have some leisurely time to feel this. And once you are there, maybe take a book, or you can speak it to yourself, or speak it to this friend, speak it to the therapist. So talk about the situations where you have felt abandoned. And more often than not, if you are not over it yet, if the abandonment wound is still active within you, when you're talking about it, the feelings will come up. They will automatically kind of bubble up to the surface. And when they come up, just sit with them. Don't try to fix them, or don't try to make them go away. Don't try to distract yourself. Um, if you're feeling heaviness in your heart, just feel it, acknowledge it. If you feel like you're starting to cry, then just cry. Don't stop your emotion in any way. Let the emotion come, and let it happen. Let it like get the release that it wants to get through you. So that is the first proactive way of feeling the feeling. The second way is, say you are actually facing the abandonment wound right now. Say you're going through a divorce, or you have left the narcissistic family or situation and you are feeling abandoned. Then feel the feeling. If it is actually playing out in your life right now, feel the feeling. Feel the feeling of being abandoned. Feel the feeling of being alone, of being lonely, of not having anyone, the self pity, the whatever is happening, the story that is playing in your head. Let it play out completely. Don't stop it. Just see it. Just see the feelings you're going through. Just see the story you're telling yourself. Just see it properly. So that is the second thing, that if it is actually happening in your life, then also it's an opportunity for you to again feel the feeling. And those are the feeling ways. And I know it doesn't seem like, it seems like, what will this do? But what this does is, when you actually feel the feeling, it is healing the feeling. So the feeling was not felt in the first place, and that is why it is a wound inside of you. It is something that was not validated. It is something that you hid, that you repressed in your body, in your psyche. So you have to actually see it, you have to actually feel it. And once you do that, it will actually have a less effect on you. It will not so it comes up because it wants to be felt. Once it's felt, it goes away. So that's what happens. So that's how feeling things really helps. It gives you a good release of whatever feeling you have kept inside of you. Then the next way is more like logical. The next techniques, so these are more using your brain. Um, so these are not the feeling techniques, these are more like the understanding techniques, where you're trying to understand the situation. So logically, just realize that it was not a good experience that you had when you have had to experience the abandonment that you experienced. It was not a good experience to have, and that is why you are facing like the aftermath of it. So just accept that, and understand that when this happened to you, your brain formed certain abandonment circuits in your head, um, with some certain coping mechanisms and certain reactions to how you felt when you were abandoned. Your body has stored certain emotions which get triggered when those circuits get triggered. So what we want to do logically is, we want to reprogram this circuit that you have in your brain regarding the abandonment issues that you have. um, so some ways of doing this, and this is actually more helpful. Like, it will be more helpful to do this when you are not triggered, when you are not experiencing abandonment. Because when you are experiencing it, it is better to go with the first two methods. I mean, not the first, which was proactive, but the second method where the situation was actually playing out in your life and when you are actually triggered by it. So, so those are good to do when you are in a triggered state. But the logical stories are better to be done when you are not in a triggered state, when it's a normal state for you, but you yourself make some time to tell yourself these things that, or these techniques or tools that I'm going to share with you. So yeah, basically do this when you are not triggered. So yeah, the first one is just be there for yourself. So all abandonment wounds come from an outside source, and when we are kids, we do need that outside source for survival. But if you are a grown up now, most probably you do not need an outside source for survival. I mean, obviously, we are all are interdependent on each other. So to a certain degree, we do need each other. But what I mean is, for the wound to heal, or for most of the situations where you will feel abandoned, realize that you don't like always need this outside source. So just be there for yourself and remember that when you were a kid, when you were a child, you did need an outside source. But now you can find whatever you were finding outside. Maybe you were looking for validation, or you were looking for acceptance, or you were looking for emotional support or financial support or spiritual support, some sort of a support, validation, stability, whatever you are looking for on the outside, try to be that source for yourself and work on it. So if you always have to call someone else to emotionally support you, just start working on being that own emotional support for yourself, and like proactively working on it. One day you will reach a point where you don't actually have to call anyone for emotional support. You have enough affirmations and confidence in yourself that you can give a pep talk to yourself. You don't actually have to look for an outside source for the pep talk. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to always look for an outside source, we all do. But what I'm saying is just make it like a luxury, not a necessity, to always find it outside. So build yourself up to such a degree that you don't have to completely depend on someone outside. Most of the time, you can find that within as well. So that's the first point. Then the second point is accept yourself for who you are. So, as I explained in the other videos, a lot of abandonment wounds are actually caused by repressing certain parts of ourselves or not accepting certain parts of ourselves, because when we were growing up, because of some cultural issues or some moral issues, or maybe just the family conditioning that we were born into, certain aspects of ourselves were not encouraged, and some certain aspects were maybe shamed or guilted or hated even. So what happens is, slowly this child who is kind of growing up to become like the purpose of life is to become whole, and all humans, all life basically manifests with that same purpose. But when a child is growing up, it's very common to like shame some parts, repress some parts, kind of discourage some, encourage some, etc. And I'm not saying it's all bad, because we have to live in a society, so we kind of have to do that. You don't want to teach a child to be a thief, or you don't want to teach a child to be like mean and not like like hit other kids, etc. So it's necessary to some degree. But once we grow up, and once we want to like deprogram ourselves from the programming that has been put into us, what we have to do is we have to accept all parts of ourselves. and we have to accept all the energies that are contained within us, which also is, like a thief energy, which also is like a bully energy. So in the right conditions I can become a thief, or under the right condition I can become anything. You can be like the cruelest of energies, and you can also be the kindest of energies under the right circumstances, because we all have every energy within us. So just realizing this, that all the things that we have inside of us are acceptable, are lovable, and are something which is okay, even though we should not show all of it all the time in society, but it's okay. So just being okay with it, and just accepting it, and just encouraging the right parts at the right time, is something that we were looking for as children, and which also causes this abandonment wound. So yeah, so the second point is accept yourself for who you are. And then I'll go to the third point. So the third point might seem a bit like contradictory to the second point, but really it's not. um, so the second point was to accept yourself, and then the third point is that learn to integrate the parts of yourself that you have put in the shadow. So learn to integrate whatever was not encouraged by your parents or by society, or just in general, however you were conditioned, and whatever has made you who you are today. Whatever was not encouraged is basically what you have been abandoning repeatedly. So say I'm just going to give an example to make this easier to understand. If you grew up in a family which was extremely strict about studying, okay, so it was a very academic family, and yeah, basically being not sharp, or not knowing an answer, or not knowing certain thing like a concept or something was really shamed upon in your family, that oh, you don't know this, you don't know this much, or you gave a wrong answer or something like that. So what happens is your personality will always try to be on top of things, know everything, be extremely logical, be extremely intelligent, sharp and focused, etc. So you have given up this part of yourself which is like fun, which is like I don't know, which gives a silly answer, which is like I don't care kind of a thing. So you have become this extremely sharp focused person, and you might look down on people who are like very easygoing, or very like I don't know about that, or I don't know about this. So a part of you is going to shame such people, because you pride yourself to be extremely knowledgeable. So what happens is you have put this aspect of yourself which was very carefree, which was very childlike, which was very like I don't know things, I'm just discovering, I know, like I'm just learning, a very learning part of you. You must have like repressed it to create this image of this really intelligent person who knows everything. So that's the part that you have put in shadow. So this technique is basically you have to integrate all those parts of yourself that you have put in the shadow. And this can oftentimes, I have seen this actually in my clients lives, where it shows up in their actual life. So so I'm just giving an example. So say there is a woman who's extremely conservative, like a very good wife kind of a person, who's not explored, like the other aspects of her personality, like no sensuality. It's all like duty, duty, duty. And a lot of time these women, they will marry a man who's also like that, extremely like dutiful, extremely like in the materialistic realm, doing what is needed kind of a person. And then they find that the man cheats on them, and then they are like, is he a covert narcissist, or what has he been doing, like why is this duality to his personality, etc. And then this woman who finds herself in this situation, she feels like she basically, if they separate, she feels abandoned. And she feels abandoned because this programming has played out in her life where she had repressed certain parts of her personality. So maybe she repressed the fun parts of her personality, or she repressed her sexuality, because women a lot of time are told that you have to be a certain way, you have to look a certain way, you have to behave a certain way. Especially in conservative societies, there's a lot of rules for both women and men. And what happens is both these people have repressed certain parts of their personality. And then when this man will meet a woman who's like extremely open with her sexuality or sensuality or whatever, he will be attracted to her. And now this woman is like wondering that what happened, where did I go wrong? So that's how shadow repression plays out in your life. And this will again like trigger an abandonment wound in the woman who in this case gets, like a divorce from her husband for cheating, etc. um so this basically brings out the abandonment wound again. And what this wound is pointing her to is that she herself had repressed parts of her personality, which were fun, which were like easygoing, which were like little bit flirty or little bit out of the moral bounds which she had based her personality on. And basically that's how these things happen. So I'm not saying like it's right or wrong, but I'm saying this is how shadow repression plays out in especially in the abandonment wound, because she has repressed that part of her personality. So what you have to do is you have to accept all parts of your personality. Like in empaths, like if you are an empath and you have been through this narcissistic cycle, then you have to realize that you have a part in you which is pretty narcissistic. And you might not have integrated that part in your personality, it might be in your shadow. And when you go on encountering narcissists, one narcissist after other narcissist, this is what is being pointed to you. This is what is being, like pointed out to you, that this is what you have to integrate. Now by integrate, I don't mean like you have to become a narcissist, or the woman in the previous case, she doesn't have to become like, like extremely sexual or sensual or anything like that. Or the man in the previous case, he doesn't have to be like, he doesn't have to give away his intelligence and become like, non intelligent. But what it means is you have to realize that every energy is okay, every aspect is okay. Being a narcissist is okay, and being an empath is okay. These are just different energies which are playing out in this reality. And all of us are capable of all energies. There's none of us which is not capable of any of these energies. So once you realize that, that much is enough. You don't have to start acting that way. You just have to be okay with it. You don't have to shame or guilt those parts of yourself or anyone else. And that's how shadow integration works. And it's, if you want to learn more about it, it's a technique by a Swiss psychotherapist called as Carl Jung. And he's like an amazing guy. You can read literature about him, or techniques that he suggested, or research that he carried out, etc. So yeah, this is the last point I had, and these are some of the tips I have on how you can deal with the abandonment wound. And as always, I wish you all a lot of love and a lot of light, and I hope this helps you in some way. Thank you. Bye.